Hello everyone. I am back, not necessarily back for good, not for good, but I am back to this channel. I know I've been gone for some time, and in my recent video, I talk about why I was gone and my surgery and my healing process and all that stuff. So I know I haven't been on this channel for such a long time now, but I'm very grateful to all of you who have checked in on me and been there for me during the course of my recovery. I really appreciate all of you for that. So I'm back now, and this video is really about how I figure about development in Liberia, because a lot of you have been asking me, hey, Emma, you started this Brewer community. You have connected Liberians and like minded individuals to go back to Liberia to develop. And then after establishing the first community, I decided to do a second community about 10 minutes from the first community, Brewerville and Roarsville. And now I have a third community that we have a wait list for the third community. And so people have asked me, what is my motivation behind community development? I am not a developer by profession. A lot of you on this channel probably know that I am a healthcare leader, so healthcare management, healthcare administrator, that I have done those things. And so that's my profession, right? But then under that, I studied business, and so I've decided to take the business route. And so the times that I've managed businesses here, quality improvement projects is still a level of taking care of other people's business. And then I've decided to really improve my entrepreneurship journey, and that's why project management, all of those things, I was able to do then, and then focus on Liberia specifically to utilize my skills in my country. So anyway, that's where all of that, that's the background. But as far as why I decided to go into community development, not being a developer, is because we, as people of Liberia, we need to be change makers. And when I go to Liberia, things become more personal for me. Go to various communities in Liberia, then it gets more deeper as I navigate and struggle to drive to my own house, and or I struggle, my vehicle gets stuck in the mud. I struggle to push my car. I don't push my car, but my folks with me will push the car. And then as I move around various cities and counties, I start to see a consistent pattern of people building decent homes with very bad roads, right? Or perhaps people building mansions, and then the house next door have like very tiny zinc, or is a zinc house. And of course, I'm not knocking down people who have zinc houses, because that's what they're able to afford. But the frustration part of that is the lack of zoning, the lack of planning, and the lack of organization. That's the frustrating aspect of all of it. So as I go to Liberia and see these things, right, my frustration start to really go higher. So then 2016, I sat down one day and I asked myself, I said, what is within my own control as a person, right? If I don't like the lack of structure, I don't like the zinc next door, or I don't like to push my car, or I'm seeing dirt roll and I cannot get into my compound, what can I do now as a person? And so this is when I decided to engage in community development. And community development will allow other Liberians or those who want to develop Liberia to come together and work as a collective. So this is when the idea started to flow and flow. And then I started with the Broadview community. Fast forward, I was able to acquire my individual land, and then I was able to negotiate for 15 plus acres of land. So the first thing is to have the land, and the second thing is to have money to develop the land. And so I sat with members of the Bureau community. I asked who's the mayor. I asked who the representative were within that specific area. And I want this piece of land. I just cannot afford to give you this money because literally I just finished my master's and I'm broke. I'm a broke student at that point. And so ideas started to come and I said, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? And that's when collecting Liberians in the diaspora to come together to develop a community became an idea. But I wanted to go home first, do other assessments, and like just get into the system of land issues because you don't want to come and sell this piece of land to people and then there be conflict, okay? That's the least of my concern. At that point, I just didn't want that to be a concern. So I did my research. I did whatever I needed to do. I went to communities. I talked to them. I established. I brought palm wine. I brought rice. And I started to know more people within because the people within the communities in Liberia know more than the people at the archive or even the judge or even the lawyers. They do know more than you think. So the best thing I could do was to build communities. Go to different people within the Bureau and ask questions. Hey, do you know this administrator? Can you tell me a little bit more about their character, about their kids? And so those questions started to sound funny, but a lot of that is character development and a character trying to find out about a person's character in order for me to go and say, yeah, this is what I want to build and this land would be legit. And so as I started to find out more information, that yeah, some people 10 years ago bought land from these people, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Then if they haven't done anything to that land, that means this property here will be safe. When I started to talk more, the individual told me that, hey, this land, I'm going to sell it to a Nigerian guy. Mind you, I was very puzzled by that because I cannot leave from here and go to Nigeria and say I want to buy that kind of land. Okay. And so trying to sell this property to a Nigerian guy, and of course I'm not against foreign ownership, but I believe people need to prioritize their people first. Again, don't get any of this wrong, but prioritize the people and then you start to sell to others and whatever. That's how I feel at least. So I told him, I need this land. He was like, what are you talking about? You don't even have the money. And I said, you watch, I'm going to have the money. So I told him and I said, the reason I'm asking for this land here is because I want to do a community development. I trust Liberian people will come and get this land from you. He was like, okay, I'm out, whatever. So, I pulled some strings. I was able to compensate and do a contract with him. And eventually I got a customer. One person decided to buy the land. And then Mr. Stefan came over and then he bought. And then the idea started to spread a little broader than initially started. So anyway, fast forward, um, more people decided to fall to this concept or be in line with this concept. And so that's how the first community development started. And I'm highly grateful to the members we have in this our community: Mambu, Stefan, Antoinette, Andrea, Grace, Manja Tulomax, Miss Elizabeth, Angeline. Oh God, some people I cannot remember right off my head right now, but all of these individuals, I'm very grateful that they got with this idea of community development. So anyway, so we started the this Bureau of Community Development, and I decided to call it Sea Kip Community Development because we were by the ocean. And so we mobilized and we there are barriers. Don't get me wrong, this is not something that comes easily because you're dealing with various personalities, you're dealing with different people's lives stages, And so as a leader, there are a lot to consider. And now we are saying leadership does not mean you don't get frustrated, you're not a human being. All of these things does come up. So in the course of this time, we were able to gather ourselves, and as Stefan mentioned in the video with Labyrinth TV and even the ones I posted here, we decided to do the road. The reason for the road is to ensure that cars can go in smoothly for us to start their houses. If this place is covered with sand, it's really hard for cars to drive in. So the first thing you have to do is to make the road clearly nice, laid out, and then you move on to the water system that will supply the buildings you're trying to put up. From there, you can do other things. So anyway, so we started with the road project, which is the red dirt road. It's a 1.5 mile road from the main road to the ocean. And so then we decided to do that, the drainage system, and even the checkpoint. And currently we are at a stage of coming together to do the water system, the water project. We got a quote. We've already had meetings. Okay, so another thing, we do have meetings as a community. We have meetings to discuss these things. So we've had the meeting. We got the quote for the water. We decided when we're going to start the water project. So that is just brief. Is that even brief? I don't think so. That's the gist of the community, the initial community, the first community. So then come to why, just the why, because I don't talk about how I really feel about this project, because I like to see results versus just talking things, okay? And so the why is because I love my country. I think that is the why. Um, Having communities development across the country is a form of development that we don't even think of. If you reach to these communities that we're putting together, you're going to see structure, because how I've laid out the plan for these communities is to ensure everyone, the houses they're building, are lining up accordingly. Nobody's going to be building 3-story, and it's within my contract that you cannot build 3 stories. You cannot just put zinc everywhere, and you cannot just kind of color to make sure the rainbow is all over the place. We are going to be coordinated. Everybody houses are going to be 2 story or less. That's fine, but you can't do more than that, because we're trying to have zoning established here, and there are regulations within the community, and so this then allow, okay, it allowed the outlook of a place to look better than it is. So the idea of being next to, you build a nice little mansion, and then you see next door the person has a zing house, it alleviates that problem right away, because all your neighbors now we have houses that are well zoned, structured, color coded, and then all of you put in to have electricity. Do you see that? And so now what you're doing is you're providing jobs for the security personnel, the person that's going to collect the waste, the person that's going to manage the property. You're not deciding to spread the idea beyond community development and putting houses. Now you're putting it into the social aspect of development. So which is your social obligation as an entity or even as a community. You are abiding by that. Hiring people, ensuring the place is clean, ensuring that, yes, there is structure in a place that sometimes is very hard to find structure. And so that is the why. That is the partial why. And then additionally, why I really decided to do this is my frustration with trying to find other neighbors to help build the road. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something, okay? So on Robert Street Highway, I have 2 houses over there. One I stay interchangeably because I just tend to keep a low profile sometimes. One of my home when I'm going there, okay? I just can't go there because the road is so bad. The last time my car got stuck in the mud, I kind of wanted to get mad at my driver. But at that point, I was like, who do you get upset at? People don't want to fix the road. We all live in this community, but the road is so bad. It doesn't help any of us. So when I went back home last year, December, I decided to go and ask the neighbors, hey, whose house is this? Oh, they live abroad. Who has this? Do you have numbers? Do you have emails? Oh, they don't want people to give their numbers out. So that's the initial frustration right there. Okay. The fact that we have a bad road and you don't want to give your number out is actually alarming. And I said, look, I live in America too. I don't want nothing else from them but for us to develop this road. And I was able to get in contact with one guy, but two of us, we cannot build a road. That road is about 3 miles, like from the main road all the way inside. I mean, as it is now, right? It's 3 miles. But when it's fixed, you better believe it's gonna be fast to get there. But two of us cannot fix the road. At least I'm not trying to spend all that money to fix a road. That one, people are gonna come and drive and act like nothing happened because I know we're so good at that. And because of this frustration, I've decided also that when I'm in a community where we all come together and build collectively, I can drive to my compound and I'll be just fine. Okay? And in doing so, my cost is going to be reduced because a collective system reduces cost, and also people can look after each other's homes, people can look after each other. And it's just the system goes well versus doing things by yourself. If there's kids in these communities or these places, isolated places, people are just building their homes, the roads are bad. The roads are really bad. And oftentimes, people have LEC that is very unstable, but in community development, you are looking at other alternative to LEC, which is very inconsistent. In these communities, when I have designed the packages, we would have solar panels, and of course the argument is during rainy season, what gonna happen? What the idea initially is backup generator, but our brilliant Stefan there is looking at wind turbines. Again, it allows you to think a little deeper than you probably would be thinking. So then alternatively, then you eventually you will get lights, road, fence, security, and you probably sleep much better at night than if you were somewhere isolated where there's no road, where only your house has electricity. You might even be in more danger. So all of these factors, oh, we really move, Bobby. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to feel better. If this was last week, my doctor probably like, Emma, why are you even doing live? You should be sleeping. Even though after my surgery, I was sleeping for 13, 14, 15 hours. My doctor still didn't think that was enough. But anyway, I'm doing a lot better. We move. All of these problems made me think, oh no, 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 no. I cannot afford to keep looking for others to join do the road. Things that would benefit the things that would benefit us. Somebody must chase you. It's actually a little alarming to me. So these very isolated communities and stuff like that you go through and no good road or water system or whatever is very frustrating. And so partially that's why I decided to really work on this community development. Um, then I didn't stop there. With the brother, I decided to start the Roarsville community. A video is coming up, and I will show you guys where we are now, and I'm so excited, only because the systems within these communities are improving. Brother community is my baby. Okay, so it's my baby. It's like, oh my god, my pilot project. Da 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 da. And then you go to the Roarsville community and I can do so much better. My brother community is somewhat of a guinea pig, but it's really not. And then you go to Roarsville, and then you go to the Roarsville community where the system is structured. It's just a little different. And then now my third community right now is on the wait list, because when I go to Liberia, that's where I'm trying to put things together structurally before the fourth, before the fifth, before the sixth, before the seventh. You got the point. And after all of these communities have been established, you will start to see some level of structure. And that's why I do what I do, because if the government cannot fix something within our own power, why not? Why not be your own developer? I mean, come on. Why not establish your own shopping centers? A sister recently called me. She said, "Hey, we're looking at establishing shopping centers. Similar to what you're doing, community by community. Now a shopping center." And so all of these things that we are doing individually or collectively, people are seeing the impact that it can make to our country. Okay, so yes, so these are some of the reasons why I've decided to develop. Third, I invest in Ghana as well. So as an investor, you need to diversify your portfolio. And so when I invest in Ghana, I also see, what I would like to see, whether better in my own country. And so I'm motivated by what is also happening outside of my country, and also what is happening within the country. And if it's within my own ability, then I will be able to make an impact there, or perhaps join that movement. And so that's how I started that. So, how I feel? I feel great. I feel great that I'm making an impact, whether on a small scale or a large scale. I'm making an impact across the employment. People are being employed. So the fact of the employment sector, people who otherwise would not be interested in building in Liberia are now very interested, because they like the idea of a community. So I feel great about that. I also feel very excited that this development have inspired so many people, that when people send me a message on Instagram and say, "Hey, because of you, I'm going to Liberia and I'm starting my project." It's a great feeling, not only that they're building the house, but they're also bringing development to the country. And so this is exactly what we want to see. And this is the feeling it evokes in me, that yes, these videos that I do, even if I talk too much, they're making an impact. Even if I start a community, people are being hired, people are working, people are seeing their towns develop, people are seeing difference, and people are learning new things within their own environments. And so these things really helps me to stay motivated, to continue to work, and continue to be inspired and inspire others. um yeah. So anyway, if you would like to come on this channel to talk about maybe your own development in Liberia, or your if you would like to be a part, not even necessarily these communities, but even just development, how can you be a part of these developments? You can definitely come on here. Let's have a dialogue. Let's converse about it. Don't make me sit on here and talk too much before my doctor come and beat me up. Yeah, so that is why I think I've answered the question. I've been asked this question so many times over the course of the last month or so, since I haven't really been posting anything on here. And so I wanted to talk about that, and maybe it could help somebody who may be interested in being a part, or actually developing Liberia as well. So, any questions, anything to add, any concerns? Would you like to talk on this channel, so you can kind of talk to me on this channel? You're welcome to do that. Yep. Unless you guys just want to stare. Yeah, you can just, send your email here. I'll send you the link, and then we can go about talking. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I think I've answered the question why I decided to do community developments across the country. we will eventually just start with Monterrey and Mangibe County, and then I've actually mapped out. I have actually mapped Grand Bassa County as well as we speak. I have been able to secure a couple of 30 acres for team community development. And so as I navigate within the country, I'm going to be expanding this all across the country. And we pray for good health. We pray for long life and the Liberian people to be able to see beyond and see how best we can all help with this development that I talk about all the time. Community building. Community building is very effective in really uplifting specific areas of the country or perhaps corners of the country and or things that you don't even want to see. So those that talk about, hey, how come this block is so nice, but people have lots of zinc houses. Well, that again, that is the problem. That is the lack of structural requirements, the lack of even structure, and so by doing these things in these community development, we are inviting structure. We are promoting structure. We are allowing new development ideas to be exposed, and we are becoming the change agents that we want to be, and also what we want to display to others that perhaps are not exposed to these things. And so that's exactly what we're doing, and I'm grateful for those who are who are there to be a part of it. Community number 5 would be in Bummy, because I know that place is very empty, very very empty. They're already laid out. Very very laid out, very very well planned, and so um, as we navigate, I just can't wait for you guys to see some of what we've done so far in our Roseville community. I just love this community. In our Roseville community, maybe you'll get even motivated to want to start something like this on your own and or be a part of a group. So there, my folks. If you're just joining, I'm just talking about how I feel about this community development um, that I started in Liberia and how grateful I am to those Liberians that have joined. And even, we have some African Americans actually in some of these communities. So yeah, our American family that have joined us to help develop Liberia, yeah, I'm very grateful to all of them too. Um, because that's really what it's about. Uh, Developing and not just talking negatively, but how we can be impactful in our lovely country. Anyway, nobody wants to talk. You guys are just gonna sit here and watch me talk too much. It's not good. But yeah, stay tuned though. I do have some really good videos, specifically those who are in the healthcare sector and those who talk heavily about the lack of good healthcare system in Liberia. Okay, and those that are directly or indirectly impacted by the lack of hey you by the lack of healthcare in our country. And so that video is coming up because we have a young guy who started a mobile what's one call it mobile diagnostic clinic. And so I sent my agent today to go be a part of the grand opening, and so all of that is coming up. So I'm really excited for the future of our country as far as healthcare, because that is a system too. Again, so many systems that are not they're underdeveloped, and so part of this is to see how healthcare can get moving within our country. Within our country. So yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to share a lot of these things with you guys. So you guys, anyway, I have to get up this live and get going and get some food. Since you cannot be on this live, I have to literally get off now. Okay. Peace out.